Oh, I like So what I have to do here is turn up the volume on my TV, because with TMNT, actually let me turn this on and off. There's a very important audio cue at the very beginning of the game, and when I press start at the very beginning of the game is going to determine what tunnel the Technodrome boss in level 5 shows up in. So if I press start on the exact right frame, I'm going to get the best Technodrome location, and I'm going to have a chance at a really great time. It's really hard to do, so if I don't, I'll just figure it out another way, but it would be pretty sweet if I did. So I'm playing on my EverDrive here, which is like a NES flash cart, a little more reliable. I've actually played on my normal NES carts in the past for these marathons. Man, Qbert. Such a good game, Qbert. But anyway, TMNT. And it's funny, last year I played Turtles 2, and I was playing on the real cart, and the game froze in the middle of my run. Like I was 20 minutes into the run, and the game just froze, so we had to kind of abandon it. So EverDrive is easier, simpler, and probably safer. This one has never froze on me, so I think we're good to go. Let me get mentally prepared here for a second. I'm gonna have to reset it again to hear the audio cue. And I mean, I guess Feasel probably knows. He actually used to run this game too. This is another great game, but so I'm gonna reset the game, and then timer starts when I gain control. And it's kind of weird to do a countdown on this one also, so I'll just say start or time or go. And yeah, so I'm gonna reset, press start, and then I'll tell you time once I start moving. And let's do this. Turtles hype here. Alright, let's do this. Alright, so here we go, and time. So this is TMNT1 for the NES. Amazing game. It's notoriously difficult. It's probably one of the more hated games on the NES because it is really difficult, and a bunch of people played it when they were kids, and it was hard to get very far in the game. Very challenging game, and some of the mechanics, whether it's the jumping, the movement, or the attacks, were very hard to pick up on. So I pretty much immediately switched to Donatello, because he is the OP character in this game. He's not only the strongest, but also has the best range. I beat up that mini-boss pretty quickly, but you'll notice I took a lot of damage, and that was actually on purpose. I got to get to half health or below, because when you're at half health or below with all the turtles, except for Raphael, you get an attack boost. So that chainsaw guy I just killed only took 2 hits, when it would normally take 3 hits if I was at full health. So by taking extra damage on that mini-boss, which doesn't waste any time, you can actually speed up a lot of parts throughout this level and the next level by having that attack boost, because it kills... That was that? Yeah, sometimes that guy will throw a boomerang at you. It's unfortunate when it happens, but really nothing you can do. That's one of the things either I haven't figured out, or maybe it's random, but the boomerang guys are like the mystery enemy in this game. Because sometimes they'll let you pass, and sometimes they'll just throw a boomerang right in your face. But anyway, that was a decent level 1. Pretty good boss fight there. I missed 1 hit on him. I kind of got the pattern that makes it a little bit tougher, so would have liked to hit him 1 hit quicker, but still a pretty fast level. We're in good shape. Here comes the second level. There's going to be an interesting trick here where I'll do an extended jump, and it's pretty awesome because you can see I just jumped up to that ledge, and you're not really supposed to be able to do that. You normally want to take the ladder, but the ladder's a lot slower, and this is a speed run, so I decided not to take the ladder. What you can do with those extended jumps is if you jump and get your turtle sprite halfway into the side of that ledge, and you hold... That was dumb. And you hold forward, then you actually clip into the ledge, and you can actually clip up there when you're not supposed to. And that's kind of a mechanic you'll see me use throughout the game, where I kind of get the turtle halfway into ledges. Coming up here in this room, so hopefully I can get that on the first try, but it's a little bit tricky to line things up. But yeah, if you're standing on the right pixel here, you can just jump right up there. Oh, I thought I had it. Alright, so that's how you do it. A little bit sloppy there, not too big of a deal. I'm trying to avoid some damage here, so kind of did a weird jump there. But we made it through there. Health isn't perfect, but you're in good shape. And in this part, the dam section, everybody knows and loves the dam. It's actually really not very hard if you just kind of tank damage through the whole thing and plow through. My health isn't perfect here, so I might play it a little bit safe, but kind of got lucky with one of those electric currents, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, by the end of this, I'm going to be Leonardo, and I'd hope to have as much health as possible, but in all likelihood I'll probably have 3 or 4 bars of health, which is fine, that's okay to have. But it can make things a little bit shady or shaky in the next level, because you play at pretty low health throughout the game, and a lot of that's on purpose. Like I said, by playing at half health or below, you can kind of get that attack boost, but in a lot of situations you just don't need health with the other turtles because you're using Donatello all the time. I mean, this level right here is going to be the most you'll probably see out of Mikey and Raph, and hopefully Leo, but we might need him later on too. Alright, so my health isn't the greatest right now, but it should be fine. Alright. Yeah, health is kind of questionable, so maybe we'll... Oh, that was nice. The game was very nice there to let me through. The underwater section's kind of interesting. Oh wow, that was really good. Alright, so we're good in health now. I mean, I think most of the game it's on kind of a global timer, so essentially, if you get to the same spot on the same pace, you'll get the same enemies or result every time. One thing to note in this water level, there's kind of these underwater currents that'll push and pull you certain ways. And there's kind of 2 patterns that you can get, and I actually got the good one in this level, but there's really only a couple spots where it can really help you too much, and I wasn't able to get the best speed boost because the current can kind of give you a speed boost in one direction or the other, so I wasn't able to get that too much, but overall the dam was fine. There's not much to it. I mean, essentially you're just flying through it, taking damage everywhere, and you're good to go. So we have a really good amount of health with Leo now, which is nice because we're going to use him and we're going to beat him up some more in the next level, because a lot of this is going to be damage boosts here or there and other things to make the run go faster. Now we get the awesome minute-long cutscene, so I can take a breath here and chill, and we can see Shredder popping his hand out of the TV. Always a fun moment for the run. Alright, so yeah, essentially this game, it is difficult, but like I said, Donatello is the man. One thing that's very important, and it's one thing that made this very challenging, is it's hard to figure out the jumps. It's hard to kind of figure out the attacks, but if you master them, you can kind of fly through the game, and it makes it a lot easier. One of the key aspects of the game is jumping, and there's actually 3 different jump heights you can have. You can kind of do a tap A jump, where you just jump a tiny bit by tapping A. You can kind of hold A for a little bit, maybe like a half second or so, and you get a medium-sized jump. Or if you hold A for at least a second, you'll get the full jump. So it's important to know how to do those jumps and when to use them. They're pretty critical. We're going to see another extended jump here, where I'm going to get these missiles faster than I should. Oh, nice, I got in the first try. By jumping up there. Normally you'd have to go all the way around and then cross that gap. I think the AVGN kind of talked about that at one point or another. But if you do the extended jump there, you can get the missiles very quickly. And you notice I killed off Raph. That was actually intentional death, because normally you'd have to get the missiles and then walk out of the building, which takes another 20 or 30 seconds. But if you take a death abuse there, you instantly go outside the building, right back to the turtle van, and you can keep going. So it's a huge time save, and we don't really need Raph. And honestly, I don't really like Raph, so I'm kind of happy that we were able to do that, but it does go faster, so I can also use that as an excuse. So now we're kind of riding the turtle van, flying through here, taking damage where I need to, because my health's pretty good, and there's going to be a spot coming up where I'm going to get some extra pizza, which is nice. Pizza's always good. I actually had pizza earlier today. I figured it would give me some luck for this run, so we'll see if that comes true or not. But yeah, pizza's good. I do like it. Do like pizza. But yeah, the turtle van section, not too exciting. You can kind of optimize your motions here. Actually, in this section, you can kind of do a certain movement, and you can despawn that bulldozer that was down there. And that's helpful if your health is really low, because it's hard to avoid those without slowing down. But by despawning him... Alright, so I kind of missed that jump. You can kind of jump around that ledge if you do it tight, and you can despawn the enemies at the top there, and it lets you walk right through. But you can see I still kind of just got right past there without them, so it's not too big of a time loss, but that is a cool jump to do if you get it. Alright, so now going through the sewer section, you don't want to fall in here because apparently the turtles can't swim. despite what we've seen in previous levels. So if you fall down, you get knocked out all the way and you have to start back at the beginning, but it's not really too difficult of a section once you get used to it. So here's kind of a quick safety strat where you enter and exit and get pizza. And you're able to get a full pizza there, and you can see that only wasted like 2 or 3 seconds, and I was able to get a full pizza with both Leo and Don, which is nice because just in case level 4 goes badly, or this boss fight goes badly, it's good to have some extra health with Leo. Normally in a speedrun, actually in a record type attempt, I would actually have been playing as Don throughout this level instead of Leo, and I would have only gotten the pizza with Don, of course. That's not good. Don't want to take too much damage because level 4 is very tough. So I want to be as good in health as possible for this fight. Alright, so I tried something there and it didn't work so well. There's actually a kind of a new strat that I've been working on, or that has kind of come together, where you kill this boss using the Stingle Star weapon. Alright, not the best boss fight, but I kind of was dicking around for a moment there with the star. You can actually kill him in 1 less hit if you use the star weapon, the sub weapon there. But it's kind of hard to set up, and I haven't really been practicing it, so kind of going for it all was a dumb move, but I figured I'd try it because it is a little bit faster if you get it. Alright, so here's another strat where you can use the star, and for some reason I tried it even though I haven't practiced that either, and it went fine, but it was actually probably a little slower than it would have been if I went for the normal strat. But essentially, that's something I'm going to probably try to work on for my next PB attempts, is to get that star for that boss fight, and use it to quick kill the boss, and then use it at the beginning of this level, because it makes it a little bit safer. But it's a little bit tough, so what we have coming up next is a very interesting trick, and it's actually something brand new to the speedrun. It was just figured out like 3 or 4 days ago by somebody named Spobble, and he's actually a brand new runner, and he was just looking in this game trying to figure it out, and he found this amazing glitch here that saves 6 seconds. So we're going to try to do it right now, and hopefully I can get on the first try, but the good thing is it's very easy to get, and if I miss it, I can just redo it, and it still saves a little bit of time, but it's a really cool trick. It's kind of like the ceiling glitches we're going to see later. Alright, so I kind of missed it on the first one, but we'll get it. Alright, there you go. You can just clip right through the ceiling, which is pretty amazing, and it saves like 6 seconds, so I need to work on that more because I pretty much just learned it, so I'm glad I got it on the second try, but obviously the first one would have been better. But it's a really cool trick, big time saver, and that's going to be big for the next PB attempts runs that I do, because it's great to have like a free 5 or 6 seconds, and that guy's the man for finding it, so thank you, Spobble, and I hope he actually picks up the game and starts running it, because it's really cool to see new runners, and it's cool to see people kind of pick up games and not just follow the route that's already in place, or kind of say, alright, this is how the game should be ran, so I'm going to just kind of follow it. Honestly, that's what I do. I'm too lazy and stupid to figure out my own strats, so I just kind of use what's already in place. But it's really cool to see runners kind of go outside the box and say, hey, what else can I possibly do? Is something new I can add to the run? Something new I can figure out? And he was able to do that pretty quickly, so that's really awesome. I mean, it's something that's not even in the task, so that would be cool to see. Maybe somebody else will work on the task as well, but pretty cool glitch. It's really weird. It's similar to the ceiling glitch that we're going to see later on, but it's a little bit different as well. So at this point, my health is kind of bad, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to Leo, and I'm going to do Leo strats here. Alright, the Leo strats not working out so well, but that's fine. It's actually not bad to get my health a little bit down, but not that down. That's fine though. I'm going to switch back to Dom, but essentially that's a kind of dangerous room, and I didn't have enough health with Don to get through it the way I'd like to. You're actually supposed to take 2 damage boosts in there to go as fast as possible, and I just don't have the health with Don to do it. So I wanted to switch to Leo to be safe. Leo took a little more damage than I'd like, but we should be fine. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the scroll room, which is another important room in the game, because I'm going to get the scroll weapon, which is the most overpowered weapon in the game, and it's going to be cool because you use it in several spots. You actually use it in the boss fight against the Mauser to save some hits. You use it in the boss in level 5, and then you use it in the final hallway of the game to save a lot of time. It's actually out of the way in this level, so I'm taking a longer path to get this, but it's going to save that much time and more later on. Alright, so that jump is tough, and that one's not as hard, but they're both dangerous because that fire below there is insta-death. So we got that, so I'm happy about that one. But the problem now is I have to actually keep the weapon. So I gotta be careful to avoid a sub-weapon drop, because that would be bad. Alright, looks like I'm safe with sub-weapon drops. What happens in this game is after every 24 enemy kills, you can get a sub-weapon drop. Sometimes you don't get one. Actually, I think about 50% of the time you get no weapon drop, but after every 24 enemy kills you can get a weapon drop. And that can be a single star, a triple star, or the boomerangs. And they're all pretty weak weapons. I don't like any of them, but in comparison to the scroll weapon, they're terrible. So if I picked up a sub-weapon, I would lose the scrolls, and it would really be frustrating, and it wouldn't let me do some of the cool strats I'm going to be doing later in the run. So I'm glad I didn't get a bad sub-weapon drop, but it's actually something else I have to consider for the final level of the game as well. And there's that pizza that I'd love to get right now, but just out of my reach. So the scroll weapon comes into play here. What I'm going to do is a glitch where I actually attack with my bow, but I do the damage value of the scroll weapon. You're going to see I'm attacking up. Alright, there we go. Good fight. You attack up, and then right before the bow hits the turtle, or hits the enemy, you press select, and it chooses the scroll weapon. So it hits him with the bow, but since you chose the scroll weapon, it does the damage value of the scroll weapon without actually wasting a scroll weapon. So I just killed that boss in 5 hits. It would take 10 hits if I would just hit him normally with the bow. So that's a big time saver right there. And you can actually save more time on the next boss, because that one you can kill in either 4 or 5 hits instead of 10, and that boss is a little bit slower. And that boss is hopefully coming up very soon, because this is level 5. I talked a little bit earlier about getting the Technodrome spawn. I talked about pressing start on the right frame to get the right Technodrome. Well, this is the best tunnel. This is the closest and quickest tunnel, and the Technodrome could show up here if I pressed start on the right frame. So we're going to hope that I did, but if not, we're just going to go to the other tunnels, so we'll be fine, but that would be awesome if I got it. I did not get it. So what I do now is I'm going to kill myself, and I'm going to go to the next tunnel. Now the problem here is my health is not great, so I'm in a little bit of a bad situation. I could get a backup turtle and some health, but I really don't feel like doing that, so I'm just going to go for it. This next tunnel is kind of far away, and this is actually the most difficult one. Alright, I don't really have enough health to use him, so we're going to have to hope Raph can get this done. We believe in you, Raph. I love Raph, by the way. I've always said, this is don't die. That's just terrible. Alright, so I'm pretty much screwed at this point, but it's fine. What'll happen here is if I don't make it through this, then I'm going to have to take a game over, which is not really a big deal. It actually would have been faster to take a game over pretty much immediately after I didn't get the right Technodrome spawn. Alright, so I'm dead. That's fine. I'm going to take the game over now. The reason I didn't take the game over is because I had the scroll weapon, and it's kind of a cool weapon, and what I wanted to do was keep the scroll weapon so that I could use it for this boss fight and use it for the final hallway. But it didn't work out so well. But really, the quickest strat, if you don't get it in the first tunnel, would be to take an immediate game over, and then go to the bottom left tunnel where I just went. Because what happens in this game when you game over is the tunnel and the RNG gets reset, so it's automatically going to be in this bottom left one. So now it's guaranteed to be here. Whereas before, I was kind of pressing start and trying to manipulate it to be in the first tunnel, but now it's definitely in this one. So not too big of a time loss, but obviously anything where I don't get the Technodrome in the quickest tunnel, waste a bunch of time. So that was unfortunate, but it's tough to do. I would say at my best, maybe I can get the Technodrome in the right tunnel, I don't know, like 40% of the time, but it's definitely not an easy thing to do, and it's very hard to get consistent at, because you're kind of just listening to the opening credit music and trying to find a sound cue in there, but it's not that easy to do. So Technodrome will be in here, and I can kill this guy pretty quickly without the scroll weapon, but obviously it would have been nice to have that here. But yeah, I guess this boss is interesting, by the way. It's like a mini Technodrome, and then after you kill it, you go inside, and it's like a huge Technodrome. So I kind of like that. I mean, I guess it's similar to how it's set up in Turtles 2 as well, where you jump into the Technodrome after you beat the previous level, but I don't know. But yeah, so this fight is cool. You kind of just kill the eyeball. You can kind of do these jumps where you wiggle a bit, and you normally don't take damage. And with Don, you're at like the perfect height to get through there. And you can still hit him, because Don's bow just has the amazing range. But that was level 5. Didn't go as planned. I guess as far as that Technodrome RNG, if you just look at it and like press start at any time, they say there's like a 50% chance of getting the bottom left tunnel, which is where it ended up being. And then there's a 25% chance it's in one of the other 2 tunnels. So just by playing normally, you'd have a 25% chance of getting the good one. But by pressing the start button at the right time and kind of learning that audio cue, you can definitely increase your chances, but it's hard to get it perfect. So now what we're going to do is a ceiling glitch, and I guess normally there's not one before this, but since we had that new ceiling glitch added, it's going to be similar to that. In this case, you execute a little bit differently. You have to kind of jump in the corner here by the ladder, and then press B at the peak of your jump. Oh nice, I got it on the first try. And that'll clip you into the ceiling. Ooh, I think I got that jump too. Nice. That jump's also kind of hard, and it saves like 1 second. Normally you could actually just climb onto the ladder there. But you can also jump out of the floor if you press up and A at the right time. So that ceiling glitch is pretty cool. That one's a little trickier. There's actually another one right above my head right now in that little crevice. You can do a ceiling glitch in there, and the one I did saves about 12 to 15 seconds, and then the one I passed up on also saves about 12 to 15 seconds. The problem with that one is it's not marathon safe whatsoever, because if I miss it, then the game just soft locks, and it's pretty tricky. The first one, you actually can just get into the ceiling and then hold right, and you'll latch onto the ladder and you're fine. But the second one, there is no ladder. Luckily in the first one I was able to just jump out of the floor, which saves a little bit of time, is cool. But you always have that backup. Like while I was jumping out of the floor, I was also holding right, so just in case I missed the jump, I would still hit the ladder. But anyway, this is the part I would really like to have the scroll up in for, because you would see me just fly through this final hallway. Having said that, this final hallway is incredibly difficult. If you're playing this game casually, or if you've never beaten this game before, this final hallway right here will wreck you many times until you figure it out. Here's the key to just do it casually. You really want to stop, duck down, and wait for these guys to despawn. The problem that people have is they try to go too fast, or they don't let these guys despawn, and once these jetpack laser guys stay on the screen, you're pretty much screwed. You really have to kill them, and they take a ton of hits to kill, and they do a ton of damage when they hit you. So it's very difficult to deal with them unless you really understand how to manipulate them that way. So I went through it pretty fast, but as you could see, I pretty much had to stop and duck down and wait about 2.5 seconds between each jetpack laser guy. If I would have had the scroll weapon, I could actually kill them in 2 hits, and you can kind of get them in a loop where you only have to wait maybe 1/4 of a second between each of them to get through with the scroll weapon. So it'd be a huge time saver, but unfortunately we lost the scroll weapon. Alright, so now we got Shredder. Final boss. We got Time coming up here soon once he dies. Incredibly easy boss. There's several safe spots and Time where you can just stand there and kill him. And I'm standing on a safe spot right there, so I could have just done nothing and he wouldn't be able to hit me. So it's like 21:18, 21 something. Actually, my cell phone stream froze, so I can't see what time you guys have. But it was a good run overall. I mean, unfortunately, level 5 happened the way it did. It's kind of expected. I kind of tried to keep going even though I knew my health was in a bad spot, just because I wanted to keep that scroll weapon. Maybe a mistake, but didn't really waste all that much more time, so I'm fine with that. 21:18 is good. It's a tough game, but it's a fun game as well. So if you're interested in it, or if you couldn't quite understand what I was saying through all the rambling, feel free to check out the game, let me know. I'm happy to help new players get into it. And if all these new players are going to find new tricks and glitches for me, then that's even better, because I'm looking forward to run this game now. I was going to probably try new attempts soon enough anyway, but this new glitch has me really excited about figuring out and seeing how low this game can get pushed. Alright, so we beat the game, which is apparently possible. Despite what some people would think, this game is possible to beat. But I think that is the end of the Super Pitfall TMNT block. So I hope you guys enjoyed those games. I think it went well. I think we kind of give a good lead into the next game, which I believe is Blaster Master, which is another insane game. Also, we have I Love Mario, who's the man, as you saw from those Mario runs. He doesn't just love Mario, though. He also loves other games. He's a great Blaster Master runner. great Super C runner. I think he plays like the Goonies too. I think he plays what? Monster Party, Blaster Master, Super Mario World. He plays a lot of games, but we're gonna see some Blaster Master. I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking here. Let me just make sure they're ready to move on to the next person. Or I could just chill here for a little bit, talk to you about, or I could try to explain Sewer Pitfall.